Hey, Lakshman, can you hear me?
Hey, Satish. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Yeah. Okay. Let me do one thing. Lakshman, can you check if you are able to share your screen?
Sure. Let me check. Give me a sec.
Good evening, everyone. We'll wait for another couple of minutes and we'll get started. Hey, Lakshman, if possible, can you open a notepad or something and just keep a message stating waiting for other participants to join? Hey, Lakshman, let's get started and I'll start the recording, okay? I think you can start with your introduction and we can go from there. Lakshman, you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, Lakshman. I can hear you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay. So do you start recording already?
Yes, Lakshman. Yeah, I started.
Okay, perfect. All right, let's go. Hey guys. So we're all here to learn Python and know about Python, what we can do with Python, and what are all the things that we can achieve with Python, or like programming in that case, right? So let me introduce myself first. I am Lakshman, and I'm a Python trainer. I mean, I'll be your Python trainer for now. So yeah, let's get started. So talking about myself, I'm a computer software engineer. I have a master's degree in computer science from Texas A&M University. I think most of you should know like Texas A&M, right? The Aggies. Okay. So work for health. I work for a health insurance company in Richmond, Virginia. I'm currently living in Virginia, and I have worked for a couple of startups, and I'm a AWS certified developer too, and I have experience teaching or tutoring high school students and college students. And then I'm currently working on a big data development. So I started teaching like kids when I was in college. Like my my classmates and stuff, my friends, I started teaching them programming, and that's how I started teaching people programming. And now I think I've trained like 100 people, more than that, hundreds of people. And yeah, and now here I am trying to learn more things from you guys, and then trying to improve myself, and then teach you something that you do not know and stuff. So yeah, I hope everybody here can recognize this guy, at least like most of you. If you do not recognize, this is Steve Jobs. He's like my favorite guy who actually has driven me to learn programming, right? Everybody in this country, he said this good in one of his talks, like everybody in this country should learn programming. It teaches you how to think. So what he meant was like, if you learn programming, you think of it, you think your thinking will be in a different way. So if you compare like two people who knows programming, who doesn't know programming, there will be a contrast between how you are talking, or like how you're thinking and how you're approaching a problem. Let's take you're solving some problem, right? So the way you're solving using programming is like way different. Like you try to see the granularity of the problem, because you have to tell your computer, like when you program, you have to tell your computer the granularity, like you have to go to the basics and tell it. So yeah, that is what he meant. And then there's like very favorite code that has driven me and then to learn programming. So I hope like anybody here likes this code can start, right? All right, what is programming? Let's learn what is programming. What do we do programming? So what is programming? Programming is nothing but a set of commands that we use, or that we teach our computer or a piece of hardware to do something. So for example, without any instructions, your computer is just, nothing. Like your computer doesn't do anything. You have to give a set of instructions to your computer, so it has to work, right? Like if you click, there is an instruction that is being passed to your computer to like click and then open this and stuff. If you're typing, there are a set of instructions that are being passed to your computer. So programming is a set of computers. Our hardware, your computer, without programming or like without being programmed, will only understand ones and zeros. It doesn't understand anything. So we can't like type ones and zeros, right? We can know the ASCII codes. Not everybody knows the ASCII codes. We don't want to type in ones and zeros. We don't want to memorize all that stuff. So to make it easier, people code and then give us like the easiest way to understand and write our programs and stuff, right? So while doing programming, let me give you a very good example. So if you see here, so this is my Google page, right? Like when you open your Chrome browser, you'll see this page. So there are so for this page being displayed, there are set of instructions that are running behind, right? So let's see. So if you see, these are the set of instructions that are running behind your Google code. So this is the source code for this. So if you see here, this is like a source code for this. So everything, the source code in the sense like a source of instructions, like you can say it code, or like you can say it instructions, you can say it commands. Some programming languages say it commands, some programming languages say it instructions, some say like, usually it's code, right? Like it's a piece of code, or it's like set of commands we do. So, and what else is programming, right? So it's how can we use programming, or what is programming helpful for, right? It's helpful for the interaction with machines and computers. With like you have to, like basically we are interacting with our machines, right? We are trying to teach our machines, okay, do something or do not do something. So we are trying to teach a computer on that. And automation of tasks. So how do we automate tasks, right? So let's say, now I have a good example for this. So there's a guy who goes and works on an Excel or a spreadsheet every day. and then he does the same task, like he runs the same task every day. So he knows a little bit programming, and this actually happened. And then what he has done is, rather than rather than going to work like Monday to Friday and then doing the same work every day, he's lazy, and then he just wanted to do like one click, and then all the work has to be done every day. So what he does is, like, he wrote a small piece of code that does the same task again and again, and then every day morning he goes and clicks that task, and then it runs, and then he's done with his work with that one click. So that is automation of tasks. You can automate basically anything. And programming is crucial when it comes to learning innovative, creative, eco-friendly solutions for global problems. So you can think of innovative solutions like, let's say you take COVID, right? You have, so there are COVID going on currently, right? How people are affected by COVID, and then if they're creating a vaccination for COVID, how do they create a vaccination for COVID? They have to like try and analyze. There is biology behind it, definitely, but then there is also machine learning and computer science behind it. There's a lot of calculation. There is a lot of math going behind it. And then how do they analyze that COVID gene, or how do they COVID strain, right? They get the data from all over the world, and then within less time, it's very tough to do the math. So a computer or a machine does all the math for it, and then just produces the answer, right? So yeah, that is what it is. And then I think you guys should have like cousins who do the pre-meds, right? I am pretty sure I had like a lot of cousins who used to do pre-med, and then they were like, show off, we do the pre-med, and we're gonna be doctors, and then you guys are like still doing your middle school, high schools, or like colleges, right? So yeah, now so due to COVID, all the medical teams or medical things are going to move to online or virtual. So I'm personally working on a project where, a patient and a doctor interact online, and then online you should be able to test the temperature of the body, and then the blood pressure of the body, and then yeah, they do have some hardwares too that has to be shipped. But yeah, it's like now the area of research, or like a lot of people are doing. So even if you want to become a doctor, programming is definitely useful. That's what I want to say. And then like if there are any of your cousins saying you're doing pre-med, yeah, we have to provide you this in future for you to be a better doctor. So yeah, we're always important, the programmers, right? And programming is important for speeding up our input-output process of a machine. Like it gives us a lot of machines. Like, let's say, let me show you a quick example. So if I see here, let's say, see, it just gave us 4 + 5 + 8, 17. So one of my student did his, even though I think he was a middle school student, he was in his 5th grade or something. He I don't know if he's in 5th grade or 6th. I'm not exactly sure, but he has this divisions and stuff. So he's confused with divisions. So what he does is he learned programming in this course, like the same course which you are gonna learn, and then he designed his own calculator. So he used his calculator and does all his homework. So I was like really impressed with what he designed. I have put it in one of my course curriculum too, so to actually make people design a calculator, and with the UI and stuff. Like, so you enter the number 1, number 2, and then what you want to do with it. So all that stuff, right? And then it's very easy to write a program, right? I'm just writing a print statement, and then you can see like it just printed. It's why Python? It's easier to compare than other things. Just a sec. I was using this for. All right, it keeps bugging me. Okay. So yeah, what else? So why Python? Why Python? We can definitely be like more smarter than our cousins or friends who are doing the pre-med. We are definitely smarter than them. And it's widely accepted. I mean, like, that's like I'm just being this, but yeah, it's widely accepted as the best programming language to learn first, right? It's easier to learn, like rather than other programming languages, it's easier to learn or easier to deploy and easier to write the code. And then there are a lot of articles that are available online for you to help. And then it's a fast working program. And then a lot of websites, like you should use YouTube, Instagram, SurveyMonkey, Pinterest. A lot of websites use Python. So for example, let's say if I go here and say restaurants near me. So there's a Python code running, and then it goes and checks, like it has different blocks of data inside the Google servers, and then it goes and runs. I can definitely say it's just a Python code. The front end can be different, the middle layer can be different, the back end can be different. But then most of the search engines use Python now. Google search engine is someone from Google actually said that Google search engine uses Python programming. So right. So that is the reason we learn program. I mean, it's easier, and then this course is designed that you do not have any background of any programming, not even HTML or anything. You're just trying to learn a new programming language, or you're trying to learn what is programming. And then it's not necessarily for a high school kid or for a middle school kid or for college students. Anybody who wants to learn programming and do not have any knowledge on programming, this is where you can start programming. Right, Python provides a great starting point for beginners if you are looking for a job. Like, I am assuming most of you guys here are like students, so we don't even have to go to the job there. But I see, and then some of my students too, like, who I taught, they were doing internships in their like when they joined college, and then during their second year, third year of college, I know people who are doing internships in MNCs. So that's a good way to find a job, right? It's always helpful for your pocket money and stuff. So Python is just a programming, it's a language, right? I'm communicating to you in English right now. So we have to communicate with our machine in some language. So we're trying to communicate to our program in a Python language. So that's simple. What is the programming language? The language we are communicating with our computer. That's it. So I am communicating with you in English right now. So what do I communicate with my computer with? I communicate to my computer with a Python programming language. That's it. That's all you wanted to know. For the rest all, you can just learn. It's like some set of commands you teach your computer, and then just get it. And when I'm typing, I type it in text, right? Text file. So rather than that, I have to type it in a .py file so that my computer understand these are the instructions that I have to understand in a Python programming language, right? So yep. Why Python programming for me, for kids? So there are a lot of kids that are like learning programming. I can say like why kids, or like why middle school or high school students. You can say like I can go to college and learn. So what I would say is learn programming, try to understand what programming is, try to design a project by the time you enter college, like try to have an idea or like what you want to build a project for your final year project, right? So every college student builds a project in his final year or in his or her final year, and then try to analyze like what is the project that you want to build. So if you have that idea ready by start of your first year, you have 4 years to complete the project and you'd be successful. You can't just like do the project in like 1 or 2 months. Yeah, you can definitely do a project in 1 or 2 months, but you have to be standout students. So right, so you have to know. And then how do you get the idea of the project? First, you have to understand what is the equipment you have. So if you understand what is programming, what you can do with programming, yeah, this is a good idea. And this is for who wants to be a computer engineer, software engineer, or a computer scientist, etc. So why for others, like who wants to be a businessman or a doctor or finance, etc., etc. So for doctors, yeah, there are a lot of things that are being done on medical industry. I currently work in a healthcare industry personally, so I know a lot of things that are being on a healthcare industry using programming. And then I personally taught one of my friend who's a scientist, biochemical scientist, and then she was doing some research on the ink they use in the printers. And then she wanted to learn programming because she has to like learn how the ink works and all that stuff. And then she has to train some of the models that how they process the machine and stuff. So yeah, these are all different things. Like Python programming is always helpful, and then it can never overgrow. So if you use something else like Scratch or something, right, at some point you'll feel like, oh yeah, I learned something, and then there is nothing else to do. But Python, it can never overgrow. It's open source, and then it can never overgrow. And then two, it is free and open source. You can just download it from your web browser and then start using it. You can do animations and a lot of different stuff and develop games. So let me show you some of the animations that we will do using in the course. So see, these are like different lines I just draw on this course. Like there's like just the basic that this is a set of instructions that I gave to draw a computer. Like my computer, I gave set of instructions to draw. Right, that is one. And then yeah, there are a lot of examples that I can show you. So let me show this with a keyboard. So see, this is my thing. I'm using the keyboard to draw, and then this is like I have designed something to just show you for the thing, and then we'll be doing it in our course too. But yeah, I'm using this. I'm using my keypad. Like if I press down, it's going down. If I press down again, it's going down. Right, 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 right. Up, up, right, up, left, down, right, right, down. So I'm basically telling my computer what to do from my keyboard, right? So these are this is nothing that is available online, or like this is not something I installed or anything. This is just a piece of code that I have written, and then this is probably like 30-40 lines. That's it. And then when I run this Python code, I am able to tell my computer or like the arrow to move down or up or something. And then this is actually that your computer does. Like when you does, there are some people already who developed this and then installed it. And then what else can we do? We can develop different games. I can actually show you one of the game I have developed. I have actually taught in one of my courses, but then that's like a next level course. So this, if you see this is a game. So the blue blocks come down, and then this is just a Python code I have written and developed, right? So if you see, I am operating the red block with my keyboard, and then the blue dots just keep passing me, and then the number of blue dots passing, my score keeps increasing. And then see, now the blue dot hit, and then the score stopped. The more your score, the faster the blue dots will be are coming, if you have realized that. So okay. So this is the code that I have written, and then like we have designed this in one of our courses. I think the second level course. This is the first level course, and then this do not need any prerequisites. But then this is in one of our course, we designed this game. And then there are a lot of different games you can also design. This is not just for this one game. You can design a lot of different games. You have different ideas, and then you can come up. So what I do is I take the ideas from the students, and then based on that idea, we do that course. And then based on that idea, we try to build a course on it. But yeah, for now we are learning basics. So the basics are the fundamentals you have to learn. Once you learn the fundamentals, all these things we can do. And yeah, let's see different shapes that we can draw. I have drawn like these are all the things that we are gonna do in our first sessions, right? This is different. These are different shapes and like different colors. Like you're using different colors, different shapes, and all that stuff, right? And then what else can you do? So yeah, this might be interesting. So we all do these things in our course. Like if you start, I think we'll be starting it from next week. So we'll be doing all these things in our course if you are interested. So it's a caterpillar, right? We just drew a caterpillar. And then, yeah, there are a lot of different things that we do in our course. Yeah, and let's go ahead and see what else we have here. The history of Python, like just we'll just know like a little brief history of Python. It was designed by this very guy on the screen, Guido van Rossum. It's designed in the late 1980s, and then he was working on a different programming language, and then in Netherlands, and then he just came up with this idea of this programming language, which is much easier to learn and much easier to code and stuff. And yeah, he was working on this ABC programming language, and then he just came up with this. It's like a so ABC programming language is also very similar. It's like a next level of it. So he just used that and designed this thing. And then he just chose Python because he's a big fan of Monty Python's Flying Circus. And Python is not maintained by any core development team or institute. Yeah, as I said you earlier, right? Python is free, and then Python is open source. So it's not developed or maintained by one person or one organization. It's like a huge thing. And then you can actually write code and then contribute it to Python. Contribute to a Python organization or like Python thing. So there are different things that are being made, and you can actually outsource. You can actually get the modules from outside and then install it to your computer and then do it. So it's not what I'm trying to say is it's not just maintained by one person or like one institution. What can we do with Python? We can develop desktop applications. So if you see our application or if you see a web browser right now, this web browser can just be designed with a Python programming language and website development. This is basically a website, like more of a desktop applications might be your small games that you play on thing. So if you see the game I showed you earlier can also be put on Play Store or App Store, and then allow people to play that game, right? So that's a desktop application. So and then that's like only Python. I did not use anything else. I just used Python code and then just developed it. And data science and AI. Oh my God, there's a lot of data science and AI projects going on, and most of the data science and AI uses Python. There are a lot of modules that are available for data science and AI. And then you can just keep browsing. I mean, you can just type data science on your Google Chrome, and then you get a lot of websites, a lot of articles on data science and AI, right? And then most of them, they use Python. There are a lot of different modules available in Python out there. And then there is this guy called Tanbay Bakshi. He's a 16-year-old kid who works for IBM right now. And then see, he's 16, and then he's already working for IBM on data science and AI. He started programming. He started to learn programming like at, I think he started learning at 4, I think. And then by the age of 9, he has his own mobile app on Play Store. So yeah, it's what I'm trying to say is it's that easy. If a 3-year-old kid or like a 6-year-old kid, 7-year-old kid can learn programming, why can't we learn programming, right? It's that easy. All you need is you just have to put some time. Try to put some time. Try to put like an hour every day, and then try to code something an hour every day, or try to understand some code an hour every day. You would in like no time you would be like a master of programming. You can program anything. and then networking and ethical hacking. So for example, let's assume I'm defining a network here, and I'm in Virginia right now. I can define a network in Virginia. The same Python code I can go and deploy in a different environment in California. So you can do all that stuff. And then games, I just showed you games, internet applications. So if there is no internet, or like if the internet is down, there will be a game or a thing that is that you can play, right, on your browser, on your Google Chrome browser especially. So that game is designed using Python. And then a lot of internet applications. So for example, if you're if I'm searching the restaurants near me, right, it gave me all these restaurants. So how does it know this is like my closest place, and then these are my closest restaurants? It uses my it uses my coordinates of this computer, and then it just based on that it goes and searches, and then most of these searches in the backend are being run on Python. So here we are only talking about Python, so most of our programming thing will go on Python, right? And then graphics, so we have seen graphics like stars and all that stuff, right? And then let me show you a tree. So we will be drawing all these things in our course. So see, it's a tree, and then you can also draw a forest too. Let me show you like the forest. So these are all the graphics that we can design. Okay, something. See, I asked my computer to draw the forest for me. So if you see, it is drawing a forest like with a road in it. See, it's a building. So basically, I use the same tree I have drawn earlier, and then I am trying to build a forest out of it. Like a forest is nothing but like we have a lot of trees, right? So, and here I am just trying to build a forest based on that tree. So I did not write a code to like draw these number of trees. I just draw one tree. I just write code for drawing one tree, and then I just use like draw it 100 times or like draw it 50 times, and then it just draws like the number of times we ask it to draw. So now this makes sense, right? How's that? So yep, that is what we have here, and let's see what else we got here. Yeah, as I said, you're right. There are a lot of libraries that are available. So for our course specifically, we'll be starting with Turtle, and then we'll be learning about a little bit of Kinter, and then in the next level of courses, like if you already have, or like if you already know about these things, and then if you already know the basics of Python, there are the next level of courses like 2, 3, 4. So there we'll be learning about Python, and then more pandas, and then more stuff, right? And then we'll be learning about data structures and algorithms and all that stuff in the above courses. But now these are different libraries I'm trying to show, and then these are all available for Python, and then they already have something defined in it. You can just make use of these libraries and then just draw. So for example, the other time when I showed you the graphics, right, we only use like 3, 4 lines of code, and then the whole thing has been run. And then if you actually so I am hoping you guys know graphs, and then your teachers are teaching you graphs and stuff. So I'll show you how easy is it to draw a graph. So see here, I have given my XY coordinates here, and based on my XY coordinates, I plotted the graph here. And I can change these coordinates. So here, so if you see 0x, 0y, I plotted here, it's 1 and 2. So 1, and then y-axis 2, and then x-axis 2 and y-axis 4, it got plotted here, and then x-axis 3, y-axis 6, it plotted here, and x-axis 2, y-axis 8, it got plotted here. So yeah, you can just like So this is one graph we built, right? And then this is hardly like 3-4 lines of code. And then we made use of a library called matplotlib. So you can actually change these things. It doesn't have to be like just these numbers, right? You can just say 20 or like 30 and 15. So let's try and run this and see what happens. You get a graph based on, so this is like a graph you get based on like the numbers we have given. So it's not a straight line graph because we have given like the random numbers. So it's a random graph. So if so this is a kind of graph. You can also draw bar graphs too. So if you have, I mean, this is like if you have ideas on graphs and stuff. I'm just saying all these because most of my students, what they do is they try to use programming in their homeworks and stuff, and then so most of them use graphs, calculations, and all that stuff. So I'm trying to teach them how to make their homework easier. So because you do the calculations every day, you do the same divisions every day. You don't want to like go and then do all that division. You just enter 2 numbers, you have to get the output. Yeah, you can definitely use Google for it, but yeah, if something you made is helping you out, it's better, right? It's a satisfaction. It's not like copying anything. You just made your work easier because you're smart enough. So these are the bar graphs that we can draw. So we'll be talking about all these things in the course, right? I will also show you the curriculum that we are gonna follow. And so see, this is like so if you see, this is like a big star, and on each edge there is a small star. On that edge there is a small star, and then on that edge there is a small star. So it's like star of stars. So let's just draw one star first. So yeah, this is one star, right? Now let's see. Let me try to show you this code. Like this is like hardly some 10 lines of code, and then we were able to draw a star. And then we can actually simplify it. We don't have to write 10 lines. We can actually simplify and then just write it in a smaller place, but then to make it easiest. So it's a star of stars. Like this is like 10-15 lines of code, and then see what it does. And I'm trying to make it slow, run it slow. So if you see here, it's trying to draw this. So trying to draw this graphic that has been shown in the slide, right? It's basically trying to, it ends up drawing this slide. So yeah, I made it slow. I asked it to write slowly so we can understand like how it's drawing. But yeah, in meanwhile, we can just cover the what are the topics we would be covering in this course, and we can go back and see if it has been done or not. So we have designed this course for 7 weeks, and then after every course, you'll be given some practice questions to do, and then you can come back with your solutions, and then I will be able to like teach you those solutions like correct or not, or like we can discuss those solutions, because everybody thinks a different way, and then there is no correct way to write a code. You can write a code in any way you want. So yeah, and then after every course you do that. After every class you can do that, and this is for 7 weeks, and then each week of 3 classes. Or we can also do like and then each class is an hour class. So those things, I think Satish will talk to you, and then we can, depending on the availability, if you have classes, if you have to manage school, homework, and all that stuff, we can only do like 2 classes a week, and then an hour and a half classes, or like an hour classes, but it might extend for a few more weeks. So we can discuss all those things, but these are basically the things we would be covering in our course. So what is programming? What is Python? We pretty much covered all those things, right? And then we will be talking about installation. We'll be starting with Turtle module that we have discussed for shapes and stuff. And then how do we interact with console and stuff? And then what are the frequent shortcuts that we use for programming? I mean, like they help you a lot. Maybe like starting, you can see like, oh, these shortcuts, why do we need those shortcuts? But they would help you a lot when you write code in bigger chunks of code. And then week 2, we learn syntaxes, how the syntaxes work, how to write clean code, or how to write a clean code, how to write a legible code. So the same. So let's say most of my students go participate in the what do you call, the competitions outside, like the programming competitions outside. They give them a topic and then write for a code. So I am writing a code, and then there's my friend writing a code, and then we both of us got the correct answer. So whose code would they pick as the first choice, right? How clean your code is, how do you write your commands, how fast is your code running, all those things they take care of. So these things are all so important. So these are all basics that you have to cover, right? And then we will be talking about conditions, control flows, modules, and then Pygame, like a little bit introduction of Pygame, and Kinter modules. And these are all different modules that makes it easier. And then how to write functions, what is a function, what are indentations, what is written function, what is written do, what does yield do, and then list sets, tuples, loops. Don't worry, this might be, if you're very new to programming, this might be something new, but yeah, by the end of this course, you would be like, these are all basics. I know all this stuff. Like to learn these things, we are gonna do that's the reason we are gonna attend this course, right? So yeah, these are all the things. These are basically these are the basics of Python, like the first starting point of Python. If you know this, you can say you know Python. So yeah, those are the things we are gonna cover. That's the curriculum of our this course. And then if you see here, it's still just going, like it's drawn a star of stars. And then what else we have? Yep, that's all I have to show. I pretty much showed like what are we gonna cover in this course? Why do we need to learn programming? Why do we need to learn Python Why do we need to learn programming? And then what's the benefit of starting learning programming with Python? So you can learn any programming language. What's the benefit of learning? It's easier to learn. Once you know one programming language, the other programming language, you can just get it. Like it's some syntax changes, you can just get it done. So yeah, this is all the course. I'm really excited to teach you all because every set of students I teach, I learn new things from them. I learn new ideas from them. So most of my students, they have their own ideas to build something. So after 1 or 2 classes, you will understand what you are doing, what you can do, what you cannot do for this course, and then they come up with their own ideas, and then they try to do. So that's actually their project. So they try to do their project, and I also help them doing their project and achieving what they want to achieve and all that stuff. So yep, I'm excited to teach you all programming. If you guys have any questions or anything, please let me know. I will answer now. Like anything about the course or anything you guys want to know, please ask me now.
Yeah, thanks, Lakshman. Thanks for your demo. So, anyone have any questions? Maybe, yeah, I'll. Okay. You can raise your hand. I can unmute, or I think I'll try to unmute everybody so that you can talk.
Okay.
If you have any questions.
So I have a question about the course. So it says that we're going to be learning how to like do web development. So are you able to create websites only with Python, or do you also have to use like HTML for that as well?
Hey, actually, this is not a web development course. We have a different course for web development. We cover HTML and CSS and JavaScript.
Yeah.
This is basically Python course. It's a different course.
Yeah, on like the PowerPoint, it says something about creating websites with Python. So that's why I was wondering.
Yeah, you can do with the Python too, but for a web development course, we have a separate course.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, the only difference between there is like you use this different programming language. You can definitely do it with Python, but then for this course, we are just learning the basics of Python. So how to start writing a programming language, or like HTML is different. So this is different. So if you learn this programming language, you pretty much can know, like you can pretty much say you know all the programming languages. All programming languages are similar except for some syntaxes. If you know what a variable is, how are you using your variable and all that stuff, it's basically those are the things we are going to learn. We can definitely develop a web application using this. You just have to like spend some time even after the course or something.
How many projects and how many levels are there?
It's we do not have like a specific number for now. I think we're teaching a level 4 course for a set of students from this Shreyan info particularly. So what we are trying to do is like we're trying to teach like more and more, and then come up with more projects, and then make the students do on a level of course that we are teaching. So we are not like just let them teach the basics and then let them go off. We are trying to keep the people keep the people connected to the code. Like if you learn it today, like in next 2 months, and then just do not use it for next 1 year, you might forget, or like you have to start from scratch again. So rather than that, what we are doing is we have designed different levels of course, and then on each level of course, we are trying to teach something new, and then trying to make students do projects on what they learned in that specific course.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really about Python. It's kind of just like about the schedule. Is there just going to be one class per week, or multiple?
Satish has to answer it.
Hey, Shreyas, I think I'll get back to you with the schedule. For now, we haven't finalized the schedule, but we need to check with other participants, and I'll send you the final schedule. As of now, we are thinking to have a weekly 2 classes. If it is a weekly 1 class, it is going to take long time. So if we take 1 class per week, it takes 14 weeks. So that's a very long time. So we are planning to have at least 2 classes per week, and it's going to take us 7 weeks. So that's what we are planning. But I'll talk to you on that, Shreyas. I'll get back to you on that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Will there be one instructor throughout the whole course?
Yes, correct. Yeah, Lakshman will be taking you through this course. So once we start, he will take all the sessions.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from anybody?
Yeah, so what are the timings for the classes?
So Ananya, as of now, we haven't finalized the schedule. So I'll get back to you on the schedule part. For now, as of now, we are thinking Saturday and Sunday, and timings we need to finalize. So we'll get back to you on that. We'll try to coordinate with everybody, and then as per everyone's availability, we can finalize the timings.
Okay, thank you.
Great, yeah. Anyone else? Okay, so I'll try to share this recorded session with you guys. So if any of your friends or anyone missed today's demo, you can share it with them. And also I'll send you the schedule. So we'll start the sessions from next week, April 1st week. So I'll send you the timings and also the start date and everything through email.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thanks for joining today. Hey, Lakshman, thank you very much for the demo.
Sure, Satish, no problem.
Thank you all.